Hello, welcome to Learn, Do, Become Radio. It's April Perry.
And Eric Perry. We're so excited to be with you.
We're recording a few of our favorite takeaways from Jon Acuff's Remarkable You conference. And we went a couple weeks ago and just thought, you know what, I bet our community at Learn, Do, Become would love this.
So if you don't, you can just shut us down right now. But we actually went to this Remarkable You conference a year ago. It was in April of last year as well. And he's just an amazing, down to earth, like just real. He's funny. He's just really bright and just really encouraging, helping anybody really build their better life. And we love things like that. So it gave us a great chance then and this year as well to go spend some time there, to be in the conference with the group there as well, but a couple days as well, just to relax a little bit and get a perspective and a fresh view of life and just have some time together to just recenter on the things that are most important. And just one quick takeaway I'll actually share from last year. Jon talks in sound bites. He calls them soundtracks, and they're things you can kind of put back in your head to kind of motivate yourself. And one of the ones I loved, it just has stuck with me for the whole year, is joy is the best alarm clock. And it's so true, because if you're really moving your life in a direction that you're really enjoying more, you're waking up excited, going to bed content, if your life is moving more in that direction, then it's your joy, not an alarm clock, not some pressure to get somewhere, that's going to get you up every morning and get you moving. So I've been thinking a lot about that this past year and trying to find a lot more joy and things that are positive and ways to grow in the past year. And it's been a huge influence.
I love that you remember that all year. That's awesome. Now, if you're brand new to Learn, Do, Become, we help people who are overwhelmed by the details of life to create simple systems so they can do what matters most. We've been working together, and we co-founded Learn, Do, Become about 10 years ago. And we actually had Jon Acuff on one of our first podcasts years ago. And if you haven't read his books, just go search him online. But it's really fun. And now this is kind of a full circle moment for us, because we started out really reading a lot of his books and getting excited about starting things. I think that was the book he published back then, was like the book Start. And then it took a lot of courage for us to start our website and, get things moving here at Learn, Do, Become. Now it's been a whole decade. We have a beautiful community here. There's so much fun that's happening at Learn, Do, Become. And it's fun to go back to a conference and get to see him.
It was actually really fun. We had a chance to see a few of our becomers there at the conference last year and this year. So it is like kind of a full circle moment to just be around people who are inspiring you to grow and become better, and then see others that maybe you're having an influence with and they're having an influence on us. So so if you ever felt any of these feelings of like, I don't measure up, my life's overwhelming, things are really hard, you're in the right place. We're so glad you're here with us listening today, and hope some of the things we share will be helpful to you today.
So we know that's not always feasible to go to a conference. In fact, Eric and I don't travel a ton to conferences because we want to be here for our family and there's all this kind of stuff going on. But we thought, let's just take some of our favorite topics from the conference and share them here. And then I'm going to be sharing some additional notes and ideas and another audio in our Arise membership. So if you want more on this, then we'll share how you can do that later. But okay, so let's jump in. So first of all, just the title of the conference, Remarkable You. It's all about wanting to live a remarkable life. And I love I forget his exact definition of remarkable life, but I think it's something like when your intentions match your values, something along those lines.
I don't know. I could go scanning through my notes as fast as I can.
Something like that. Anyway, here's one of the first concepts. He said, we don't have to find it.
Now you got me on homework.
Now Eric's like, all right, I'm looking through my notes. Okay, but he said, when you decide to grow, you awaken the dragons. And he references these 6 dragons: your inner critic, pessimism, imposter syndrome, overthinking, perfectionism, and insecurity.
And you can raise your hand quietly wherever you are if you feel like you suffer from one or multiple of those, because we do as well.
Yeah, and whether it's something like you're starting a business, or you're just wanting to improve your education, you're wanting to make a greater impact in your family, in your community. Anytime you decide to grow, there are these dragons. And I think that's one of the things that's helpful for us to just know that they're there and know that you're not the only one who's going through it. There was this little experience I had at the conference where I was up in their little store area where you could buy t-shirts and things. And I met this woman whose friend had offered her a free ticket. And this woman almost didn't take it because she thought she wasn't the kind of person who was good enough to attend an event like that, and she just felt, I guess, the imposter syndrome or insecurity, something like that. But I was so glad that she decided. And so anyways, Eric and I were just talking today. We wanted to share encouragement to outsmart the dragons in our lives.
Yeah. Well, just maybe one of the notes I was going to share that April didn't know about was just the thought he shared about overthinking. It's one of those six dragons, but the way he described it later on in the conference was overthinking is what you're thinking gets in the way of what you want. And I thought that was really interesting. When we let our mind, our thoughts, and those feelings that go along with all these things, these dragons, when we allow those things to get in the way of what we really want. And if you think for a second, what you really want is probably not too extreme. It's not probably impossible. It feels maybe a little out of reach. But if you can quiet those thoughts, if you can put aside those feelings and really focus on what's true and what's real, you will be able to develop a way to move toward that thing you really want. And it's just getting those thoughts and feelings out of the way.
I love that. Another thought that had come to my mind as he shared this was the concept of being brave enough to be mediocre. And you didn't love that word mediocre. I think, what do you say? Being good enough? I think that's the phrase that you used instead. Because I'd heard this advice from these family therapists years ago.
What he said was being brave enough to be mediocre.
No, this is what I wrote.
Oh.
Sorry, he's looking at my notes and thinking it was
Bad
John.
me.
I'm not quoting John. I'm quoting
What are
myself.
you thinking now? How
So,
you're quoting yourself.
there were a couple of family therapists who said when they worked with a lot of these college students in our area, one of the things they encouraged them to do is do something mediocre every day. Because a lot of these students, they're like perfectionists. They were the best in their high schools. They're coming here to university. They want to just get out there and shine.
And not being the absolute best paralyzes them.
Yeah. And I think that happens to us
Everybody.
too.
I think all humans are subject to that.
Even when we sit down to record this podcast and we're like, oh, is the audio okay? There's a lawnmower in the background. Are we going to be able to do this well enough or whatever? And so I think being mediocre, that's something that I'm learning to accept more and more, because I don't think it makes me a mediocre person. It just gets you out there, doing things, making progress, and you're going to get better at it.
Yeah, and I don't love the
time.
word mediocre. It almost sounds like you're trying to shoot for just whatever.
Yeah,
but
blah.
just trying, right? Like John has another soundtrack that some beats none, which basically means something is better than nothing. Trying, doing something, putting some effort out there is going to achieve something. It's going to help you grow. It's going to help you learn. It's going to give you a little confidence. So being mediocre, being just doing something enough that it creates something or does something, even if it's not the perfect absolute outcome, you're making progress toward that ideal.
And one other related concept, this is from us, not John. I'm not quoting John, sorry.
Okay, you just give me little hand signals. John, you or us. All right.
Well, John sparked a lot of great conversations and
that's
ideas,
why we booked a little time on the front
yeah.
and back of this conference, so we could spend some time kind of thinking, processing, walking around through some beautiful nature areas out there, and just working through what we took away from the conference and what it means to us. And we hope you'll do the same thing. If you hear something on this podcast, that you'll take a moment or two and jot down a thought or two. They're like, wait, and it's something you're thinking. You're not quoting us, you're quoting yourself to yourself. So.
Yeah. But this other concept was moving forward with little bets. Eric and I talk about that all the time.
Because we are gamblers.
So
we gamble all the time.
We actually have a video on YouTube that we'll link here in the show notes, but it's called The Secret to Pursuing Your Dreams Without Fear, talking about little bets by Peter Sims. So it's a book that talks about how when you go to start something, if you think you have to have all the answers and do it big from the beginning, then you will be paralyzed, or you might make a big mistake or a big gamble and then lose a lot. So instead, you want to do these little bets. And so whenever Eric and I have something new that we want to start, or we have some idea, we're like, well, what if we just did this smaller thing?
A little tiny experiment, right? Jim Collins, I think in Good to Great, calls it bullets before cannonballs, right? And so as you're shooting towards something, maybe take a chance to line up the trajectory and you shoot a bullet or two to make sure you understand the wind and the temperature and all the different factors that could influence. And once you've sure you've got it dialed in, these little bets, that's when you fire the cannonball. That's when you put down the bigger bet or put bigger or more effort into something to get that outcome.
Well, we started our step coaching membership back in February, and we're like, I don't know, are people going to want it? How's it going to go? Are we going to like it? And so we said, well, let's just run it for 3 months. We'll commit for 3 months. And then if it goes great, then we'll keep it going. And if it doesn't, then we'll shut it down. Like, we don't have to commit
And it's
forever.
been really fun on the outside, because I love that approach, because I'm not the kind of one driving all the step stuff. April and the team really do a lot more of that. But I love the fact that as they've done that for 3 months, they've gotten a lot of great feedback from our STEP community, hearing amazing success stories about how these people have been growing, getting their command centrals fully built or more fully functional to make their lives better. And along the way, the team has also given feedback on how do we make this smoother, easier, better for the community and our steppers, while also making it better for ourselves. So again, just a tiny bet back in February. has led to something at the reevaluation here in
We liked
May
it.
where it's like,
The
it's
community
going
liked
really
it.
well. And people are
Yeah.
coming in every day saying, I would love to spend a month or 2 or 3 with you and get my system fully up and running. And it's been really cool because so many of them have said, I love the community. I love what we focus
Mm-hmm.
on and talk about. Each time we meet weekly, and you don't have to come to all of them, but it's been so cool to watch people now. Like, it's a little bit of a community of like support and encouragement, as well as getting their system fully running.
All right, next concept is that our remarkable soundtracks turn into remarkable actions, which turn into remarkable
And
results.
last year was actually our thoughts turn into actions, which turn into results. We changed thoughts into soundtracks,
Yeah, I like it.
which soundtracks is another word for our thoughts. But yeah, these remarkable thoughts or soundtracks really do drive those remarkable actions, and those drive the results.
Except Eric kind of mocks me because I got this self-talk app.
Which we'll link to in the notes because it's horrible.
There's this book called The Power of Neuroplasticity by Dr. Shad Helmstetter, and it's all about how when you speak positively to yourself, you're going to start having that become your natural way of thinking.
And I shouldn't say it's horrible. It just may not be for all people out there. Because I grew up in the SNL era with Stuart Smalley and that motivational speaker saying, I'm good enough, I'm smart enough, and doggone it, people like me.
And the app is very much like that.
It's better than that.
But it's been fun. I've been used it for like 3
April's
weeks.
loving it. I'm like, fascinating.
And it is funny. I was playing it in the car with Eric, and he looked at me like, "What?"
But no matter what what source you go to, whether it's Stuart or Dr. Helmstetter or you make your own, it is really, really important to have a positive soundtrack playing, right? As opposed to a negative or a neutral or just something that's going to discourage you from believing you can do what you really can do.
Next one was in your profession, you want to find something you love so much that you would do it for free, but you also want to get so good that people pay you a lot to do it. So I really like this one because I've heard the first part often, find something you love to do, but I rarely hear the second part in regular conversations. And that's actually one facet of Arise, the membership community that we have here, that Eric and I are excited to dive more into because Eric started doing more of the financial training with our community, how to calculate your financial net worth, looking at how we actually budget, looking at different awesome books about investing on how to make it really simple and things like that. And it's been so fun to watch our risers start really.
It's kind of funny. It feels like
awesome.
It's becoming one of the most popular parts of Arise.
Yeah,
we cover
great.
6 topics repeatedly, subtopics throughout the year on these 6 core topics. Finance seems to become a big winner every time. And again, it's just about keeping it simple. And actually, maybe a quick side note of this, I had a couple notes that kind of maybe go to this. I wrote down for myself, this is me talking, not John or April. Okay. But I actually wrote down, like, one of the things I love to do is I love to simplify complex things.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, and then another thing that kind of came up through the conference that he kind of said, but I kind of paraphrased, is how we approach complex versus simple things. And the thought is this: we don't like simple because we tend to prefer to hide in the complication or the complexity. So true. I think when we talk about our finances, we all know we need to become a little bit better at it. We need to get a simple plan to prepare for our present and our future so we can enjoy both. But it feels scary. It feels hard. We don't know how to do it. Like whatever it is, right? And so we hide in the complication and the complexity of it, saying, oh, it's too hard. It's too difficult to navigate. Mm-hmm. When really what we found over as we've talked about it in Arise regularly is we've made it really simple and people quickly take action steps. And then I love hearing them report, even later in the month or like 3 months later, when we circle back to it.
So fun. The
progress and the advance they've made. I'm like, oh my goodness, this is insane. So again, simplify, and we love being able to do that with people in Rise.
Well, and I just love the focus on doing work that you really do love and learning how to make it something that is financially beneficial for you so you can keep doing it.
So we want to help our risers knock it out of the park. Like, the financial side of your life, whether it's just personal, like refining and streamlining, or doing better in your work and being able to be promoted or get raises or other opportunities, or something you might be doing or starting on the side. We want to help our risers, we want to help our becomers really magnify their financial potential.
Mm-hmm. And not at the sacrifice of your personal health and your relationship with your higher power and your family.
Keep it simple so it's not a stressor or a headache to you, but you're like, I actually enjoy finances. I actually enjoy reviewing them each quarter because I can see myself making real progress toward my goals.
Love it. And then just the last one we're sharing today is that there is power in symbols, and it's ideal to pair a great soundtrack with a symbol we can see and reflect upon regularly. And I actually wrote up a post on our website last week. It's called Using Symbols to Give Our Mindsets a Boost, where I shared a little bit more about a symbol that I've been using that's been helping me. But we also, in that article, I went through all the logos at LearnDoBecome, because if you'll notice, if you see our LearnDoBecome logo, it's like stairs stepping up to the right.
Like, I know they
right?
seem very simple and very like almost like a kindergartner could have drawn them, and that's intentional.
Yeah, so
Keep
easy.
it simple colors, simple to remember, but they have deep symbolism to them.
And same with our step logo. It's like steps going up to the right. And our Arise logo is these like 3 mountains going up to the right. Like as you're scaling mountains and you're growing and you're having these broader vistas, right?
Right. And like the Learn to Become logo is 1 step leading to a 2 high step to a 3 high step. I actually want to make it 4, so it's a doubling principle.
Yeah, that's what we've been thinking about.
But we'll keep it 1, 2, 3. And one of the symbolisms could be as easy as 1, 2, 3. But even the colors, the red, the green, the blue, have symbolism there, right? Red representing learning, being well read, constantly learning and growing there. The green is the doing, the growing, right? So reading and red, going to doing and growing. And then blue, when you become, you're true blue, you're firm, right? You're established and you're becoming all that you want to be.
So I just love this reminder that when we can link a concept to a symbol, then whenever we see it, we're going to have that reminder. And just one final story I'll share is that on the back of my door, I have 12 little pictures. They're all symbols, and each one represents an experience where God has shown up for me in a big way. Now, your higher power may be different than mine, but I think we've all had times in our lives where we absolutely knew that there was an added measure of power that was involved.
From something bigger than ourselves.
And so one of my symbols is a drawing of a piece of a birthday cake. And it reminds me of the time I went to visit my mom in a rehabilitation center after she broke her hip. So she'd had Alzheimer's for a few years, and this was about 4 years before she finally passed away. And it was my birthday. So Eric stayed with our children so I could spend several hours with my mom, who lived about an hour away. And my dad and my sister met me there as well. But there were 2 things that happened that day that were really uniquely powerful. So first, after we had our lunch, the staff served birthday cake to all the residents and their visitors. And I asked why they had cake. And one of the attendants responded that every month they pick one day to celebrate all the birthdays for those staying in the facility. And I asked if it was always on the 19th, because that's my birthday. And she said, well, no, we just pick a different day each month. And knowing that it was kind of randomly chosen, like such a coincidence, I just felt so much love as I realized that I'd had this chance to celebrate my birthday in a really special way. And then one other thing that happened was during that visit, for about 10 minutes, when I had time alone with my mom, she was totally lucid. Now, I hadn't had a real conversation with her for several years, but for about 10 minutes, she was completely clear. And when I noticed that she was clear, I asked her advice on some things that had been weighing on my heart. And she spoke to me with clarity and wisdom and insight. Like she knew things that I had never even told her, we'd never even talked about. And I just sat there holding her, listening to her talking to me, just with tears streaming down my cheeks, because it was like the best birthday gift that I'd ever been given. So when I see that picture of little cake on my door, that's one of those symbols to me that we're not alone, that miracles can happen. Like I have that special connection each time I see it. So it's just a little example that I do encourage you as well. Think about the miracles in your life. Think about the symbols that inspire you and put them places so that you can regularly remember and move forward in your life.
Yeah, I love that. And I can't even say enough about April's mom, Zoe. She was an amazing woman. So to get her back for 10 minutes, that's a priceless gift. In fact, April wrote a little book. Maybe we can actually link to it in the notes as well.
Thursdays with Zoe.
She'd go out every Thursday to visit her as she was kind of declining and spend time with her, with our children. And there's some great stories that really personify Zoe there. So if you want to get to know her, she's an amazing woman. So yeah, one last thing I would just share about the conference that I really enjoyed is in the last session at the end of the conference, he talked about just deepening 5 areas of wealth in our life. And it's not just financial. That definitely was one of the 5. But I love how he really identified what are the most valuable and what are some of the most scarce resources we have, and how do we create a greater abundance or wealth of those. I've long argued, sometimes people think money is our scarcest resource, or others will say it's time. I actually think it's energy and health. And it was actually interesting. He hit all 3 of those in all 3 of those in the 5 that he hit on. He said we definitely want to develop our relational wealth. kids are doing great, our family members, they want to be with us when they don't have to be. And I actually thought it was really interesting, like developing that relational wealth, increasing and amplifying our financial wealth, which is very, very important. It's resources we need to enjoy our present and our future and to make a difference in different ways in the world. But then he talked about, having time wealth and be able to create the flexibility in our lives with time, our health and energy wealth, preserving our bodies, our minds, ourselves in a way that we can actually enjoy these things as we have a longer life or opportunity to do that. And then wisdom wealth, which I actually thought was interesting. I hadn't really thought about that one before, but just deepening our understanding and our wisdom about our lives and the purpose of them. And so it's kind of fun because all 5 of these areas we do spend a lot of time on focusing in our RISE community. Mm-hmm. We have 6 subcategories, but all 5 of these areas of wealth actually align really well in or between a variety of those different areas. So it's just kind of fun to hear that it's not just about chasing money or position or resources or things that the world may kind of see and esteem pretty highly as you kind of look on social media. But it's looking at these 5 real or true areas of wealth and deepening our reserves there.
I love it. All right. Well, thank you for being here with us. I hope that this was fun for you as you listen to some of these notes. And if you want to hear more about our other notes from the conference, then come into Arise. We have a special Arise bonus library, and there are some awesome resources in there. So we'll share
and
that.
If you're thinking about Arise, there's no risk, no scare there at all. We have actually a 2-month free trial. You can come sign up and get access to Arise for 2 months. Go through 2 of the topics we're hitting this month and next and really experience that community, kind of see who's in there and how people treat and build each other up. It's one of my favorite places online. Mm-hmm. And I love all of our becomers, but I really, really love our risers. Like there's some really cool stuff that happens there each month.
We just met together yesterday and it's literally a party. We get together.
I love getting on the calls. They're an hour long. We stay for a little bit after the hour, kind of answering any of the questions they have or just kind of connecting and just sharing other things that people might need. And it is an incredible community. So we'd love to have you be part of that with us. Again, come in for 2 months, check it out. And if you love it, stay with us. We'd love to have you as an ariser as well as a becomer.
All right. And there will be a general outline and links to Arise and Step and our Step coaching, all of that on the show notes page.
And Thursdays with Zoe.
Oh, and Thursdays with Zoe. Okay. And the related YouTube video. Come to the show notes page. It'll all be there. All right. Thanks so much.
Take care. Have a great day.